When you fight a video game boss, do you go full Leeroy Jenkins or do you grind and grind until you're 20 levels OP? Hey, Ryan Bannister, One Up Financial Advisors, and in this video, we're going to talk about how your personal risk tolerance has a huge impact on where you need to invest your money. So to match your brashness of gameplay, your investments really need to suit who you are as a person. And I'm talking about the hodlers of today versus those of us who stash the cash under the mattress. And for each person, there's an ideal level of risk you should take on in order to get an ROI to achieve your goals. So how we do this is called asset allocation. And forgive me here, but I'm going to read you the actual definition. So asset allocation is an investment strategy that aims to balance risk and reward by apportioning a portfolio's assets according to an individual's goals, risk tolerance, and investment horizon. So, after putting you to sleep, let me tell you what that actually means. Similar to how I've talked about a lot of things before, if you put it in the context of an analogy, I think of it like a character build. So, your assets are going to be allocated to different investments, just like your character has different stats in vitality, strength, dex, and some of these things are probably going to make you OP for certain bosses and maybe struggle against others. And that's kind of what we're trying to solve with allocating your investments to the right place. We're trying to split the portfolio into the right stats to match the challenges that you're going to be facing in the market. So to break that down one by one with kind of how that definition was ordered, starting with your goals is the very first part of the financial planning process for us. So we're going to figure out your goals for life, family, business, and do that at the very start of the process. And typically before you even become a client, you're going to take our risk tolerance quiz, which is a little questionnaire. It's really quick that tells you a score for your personal risk tolerance and kind of groups you into buckets based on how high out of 0 to 100 your risk tolerance is. And I love this quiz. So I actually put a link in the video description below. So if you want to take it yourself, go ahead and click that and let me know what your score is. And then finally, your investment horizon is the amount of time you are willing or able to hold the portfolio, meaning it plays into your goals of if you want to buy like a car in 2 years, your time horizon for that is going to be 2 years. Or if you're looking at retirement, it's going to be a much longer time frame. So you can potentially hold a little more risk in your portfolio for that. So I know I threw a lot out there with just that one definition. It was pretty hefty, but it's all necessary to kind of figure out how to split up your portfolio. And when people talk about allocating your assets or your portfolio, generally they're talking about splitting it between three large asset classes, either equities or stocks, same thing, bonds, or cash equivalents. This is generally just describing how to invest in the stock market. There's a couple other asset classes out there like real estate or commodities that you could invest in as well, but we're not going to go that in depth here. But then on the flip side of that, what happens if you're not in the right asset allocation? So having the right allocation is considered one of the most, if not the most, important factors in getting the investment return that you need. So in other words, investors would use different allocations to achieve different objectives. So like the example I used earlier of buying a car in 2 years, you're not necessarily going to go and put that all into stocks because the market could fluctuate, which is what we call market risk. And by the time you get to buying the car, the portfolio might not be at the right level. So you would consider doing maybe a more conservative allocation into some sort of mix of cash equivalents, CDs at your bank, things like that. Similar to the other example I used earlier, if you're saving for retirement, which is likely longer than 2 years for you, you would have potentially a little more room to hold risk in your portfolio since you've got a longer time horizon. But we also factor in risk here in case you're uncomfortable investing in stocks or the stock market. So in that case, we may put it into a more conservative investment. And all of this is partly why the financial planning process takes place over 4 to 5 meetings, because putting a well thought out plan together involves a lot of different things in your life, and we want to make sure that we've got all the bases covered. All right, so quick recap. I know I threw a lot out there in this video, but I would say if I had to sum it up in one sentence, that one of the most important aspects of investing to reach your financial goals is that what you're investing in needs to match both your risk tolerance and your time frame. And again, I love this risk tolerance quiz. So if you want to take it yourself, go down to the description and it's right there. If you do take it, let me know what your score is. Otherwise, that's it for this lesson, y'all. Follow me on Twitter or LinkedIn, both into the description below. And thanks for watching.